Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing okay. How's the summer going for you?
Busy, but going well. How about you?
Same. It's just crazy. Yeah, but going okay. So Julie can't make it tonight.
Yeah, I don't know if Stefan's coming. He was invited, so no idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him either way.
But we could probably start.
Okay.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Stefan.
Hey, Stefan.
You hear us?
Is this us? Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I had my volume turned off because I was in conference calls in a conference room all day on also a call. So
Such is life.
yes.
All right. Well, I'll call to order. So I think on the agenda it's had like updates since the last meeting. And I wasn't able to attend the last main committee meeting. Was there any updates from that we should talk about?
No.
No? Okay.
Almost didn't have a quorum, but so yeah. Not a ton covered. And then I think my understanding is the last meeting for this was also canceled due to not being able to make a quorum.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, yeah, he couldn't make it, so we haven't met in several months.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I guess related to this is the specialized code, building code. We had talked about putting a warrant for town meeting from ESC because I guess town council doesn't want to sponsor one. So for the next meeting, we're going to vote on bringing that forward.
Okay. So town council does not want to sponsor a warrant on the opt-in code.
Right. Not exactly sure why, but that's what was said. So, I mean, there's like a template we can use, so I don't think it should be like such a huge deal to put something together. But it may be something that our group wants to work on, because I don't really know who else would be working on it.
Okay.
Besides maybe Robin, but I don't know. She was as gung-ho.
She was not as gung-ho about the opt-in code.
Well, she has kind of been hesitant from the start, but I think maybe she's more on board now that we have a little bit of runway. Instead of bringing in Springtown meeting, we're doing fall, and then, you know, it'll start next July to be enforced. So I think she's more amenable to that. So maybe she can help us. I just we can talk about it at the next meeting.
But so we need to, in the next meeting, we need to vote on, as a committee, on whether to bring the warrant. So do we need to have it drafted before then?
No, I think we could just vote on, starting to, like, the idea of bringing the warrant forward, basically.
Okay. I see. Okay. Good.
When is the fall meeting?
I think it's in November, early November. I don't think there's a date out, but I think last year was in early November. But we would have to have the warrant language to submitted by maybe end of September.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I wonder if like Tom or, I mean, certainly I would think Julie would have some guidance on how to draft
Tom is
that.
definitely probably hopefully gonna help us. But there's already like a template that we can use, so. I think the other part of that though is getting a subject matter expert to come to town meeting when we present it. So that's the other piece. So Chris, I don't know if you know anybody.
Well, we had a couple meetings ago, we had someone, wasn't it from someone from DOER that spoke to our committee?
Yeah, but they weren't the best. They weren't even advocating for it, so I would rather not choose them. But I
What
can
about-
ask DOER if they have somebody else.
That was the April meeting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was more of a read through than a advocation, right?
yeah, I mean, he even said like something against it. He made a
Yeah.
comment going against it, so.
And what about, I can't remember the gentleman's name that also joined that meeting from, building permit?
Building inspector,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that department in support at this point, or we're not sure?
I don't know, I mean, I invited him there so that he could get a better grasp on what it was all about. He didn't seem to have many questions and didn't really express many concerns, so I'm not really sure. I think now that, many towns have adopted it, that it's not so crazy an idea, and he can talk to other building inspectors from other towns that have adopted it. I mean, by a year from now, there's going to be probably a lot more towns. So
Yeah, one of the takeaways, if I understood correctly, was that the specialized opt-in isn't, in a lot of cases, isn't even that much more stringent than what the new stretch code is now anyway.
Right.
So that change feels like the bigger change, and then the specialized opt-in is relatively smaller.
Yeah. So yeah, I can follow up with DOER on maybe getting somebody else.
So I'm ignorant of the process for the town meeting and the warrant, but so when you say a subject matter expert would be there, is there
They would
someone to
help present
present it?
it.
And
Yeah, so we would we would probably have them talk the majority of the time.
Could that person be someone from another town that made the
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
decision to do this?
What do you mean?
Like say a building inspector from a town that had recently adopted this.
Oh, to get them to come? We could see, I don't know.
I don't know any. I just was wondering if that would be like acceptable.
Oh, as the SME, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know about that. I mean, I think they could help plead the case, but maybe not be the main person talking. I don't know. I don't know how we would go about inviting someone like that.
I mean, if the DOER is pushing this, right, they've got to have, I mean, it's coming from the DOER? The actual opt-in?
Yeah, the building code was
Yeah.
created by them.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it would just be better to have them then, do you have good context there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in contact with somebody when I invited
Okay.
that other guy. That's who they sent, so.
Oh, there's literally an email address for stretch code at mass.gov, so. Just literally send them an email and ask for somebody to attend a meeting, I guess.
No, I mean, I could just contact the woman I was
Yeah.
talking to and. I mean, the person they sent was a consultant.
Yeah.
And I think he was even like a contractor of the consultant, so. It's gotta be something better.
Yep.
So if we do have any contacts or could find any towns that have adopted this, even if they don't act as the SME, maybe they could speak to, how it went for them and what worked in terms of presenting it and any recommendations. I know there's that list somewhere out there.
Yeah.
With the towns that have it, Brookline and Watertown or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know, like. It's only been like a few months, so I don't know how much feedback we would get. But
Yeah, they haven't like lived with it, but they've gone through the process of getting it adopted, apparently.
yeah, I mean, if there's other towns specifically that I've, brought it to town meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Arlington probably did.
Cambridge, Somerville, Watertown.
I mean, maybe someone from MAPC.
Did you say MAPC, Melissa?
Yeah, I was just looking at their website. They have a bunch of slides related to it. I don't know, maybe, and they're just referencing DOERs. Anyways, that's that.
Okay, so you're gonna reach out to DOR. Do you want me to try to contact MAPC about it?
I mean, did they ever get back to you on the other thing you emailed them?
They just basically said that the thing we tried to submit the expression of interest for couldn't be
Oh, yeah.
accepted because it wasn't submitted by a town staff person.
Yeah.
Okay, but sounds like we'll talk about this more at the next committee meeting as well. Just the notion of putting forth the warrant and
Yeah.
being around. So how does it work? You get a certain amount of time to present, and that's when you would have your one or
Right.
more people speak to it.
And then residents can, or whoever's there can ask questions and comment and then vote.
Okay.
So we had talked about at the June, our June meeting, when we were talking about climate planning, was going back to town council to talk more in deep about the greenhouse gas inventory, next steps, examples from other towns. So maybe we should focus our efforts on that.
Right.
Yeah, so you're thinking we can try to get some more information in front of the council in a meeting and push to try to get funding for the planning process that we have the proposal for.
Yeah. I don't know if like, yeah, I guess we could say that, like, you know, once we've kind of presented everything, all the information, and then we could say at the end, hey, we have this proposal, blah, blah, blah. But I think we just kind of need to get their buy-in.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I talked about getting some other examples from towns. I think of the the plans they've developed and also just RFPs. I found one, I have one here that I found from Hingham. But I think I need to do a little more work on pulling together some of those other examples that could be helpful. Last time you did like a presentation, right, Melissa?
Well, I just presented ESC
Or-
activities, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's only like 3 or 4 slides and no comments. So I think, I mean, they only commented on like basically all the other slides, not those. So I think if we just have presentations strictly focus on that, we could hopefully get their attention and get some more discussion and better education. Because I think it's just for people's heads, except for Julie.
Okay, so I mean, I can take on trying to draft up a few slides on that. I think examples from other
I mean,
towns.
we have that presentation that we went through during our meeting. So I think it's just adding on to that, like examples from other towns and like next steps, like just adding a bit more information to that.
Do you have a definitive list? Like I just saw one article that mentioned only 3 towns, Somerville, Watertown and Cambridge. Like is there like a more definitive list? I mean, you mentioned Brookline a little while ago, you know. Is there a definitive list of towns that have adopted it? I just can't seem to find one.
Climate change plan.
No, I'm sorry, the other one, the earlier one. The
opt-in code.
Yeah. As for the GHG one, I mean, I think we started out with the. I'm sorry, we're gonna move all over the place if I'm not careful, back and forth. But yeah, I think I just wanted to see if there was a more definitive list of that, so that I could, contribute a little more if I could, could do some research, or if you need me to call some people. And then if you want to go back to the GHG inventory, I think we talked about Melrose, right? They had adopted it in particular. I don't know. It's interesting. What kind of popped in my head when I saw Watertown, Cambridge, and Somerville was just they're kind of, don't they touch each other? They're all like linked. And for Wakefield, Stoneham, and Melrose is kind of one of those little triumvirates that I see. They're always linked together. So I don't know, something like having a conversation with them. I mean, is Stoneham anywhere on the spectrum for the GHG inventory?
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely talked to the Melrose sustainability director, and tried to get an understanding of like their process, and so they're a little bit different because they're a city, so they didn't have to go through. I mean, they basically just like
Decided.
They're like, the sustainability director told the mayor this is what we should do, and that's what they did. So it was a bit different process, but so I think if finding other towns with climate change plans and how they went about it. I mean, I've
Well, I don't mean necessarily following their process even, but I mean, if Stoneham's already moved forward, then to say, well, Melrose and Stoneham have already done this, and even though their
I
process.
don't think Stoneham said anything.
Okay. Okay.
I think Stoneham is like behind us.
Okay. Land, maybe, find another one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Reading even has one.
I see.
Yeah, I was just looking around a little bit for Reading and Stoneham sustainability pages. Get a sense of where they are. It seems like Melrose is probably the furthest along for the towns right around us, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and as far as the opt-in code, Stefan, I don't know that I've seen like a definitive list. I remember seeing sort of like different announcements or, you know, just like headlines about,
Yeah.
you know, such and such town voted to adopt or something. I think Brookline, Watertown, and then looks like maybe Cambridge and Somerville. But there could be more coming. Somebody should be tracking it.
But I mean, it's more, you know,
Out there somewhere.
yeah, the further ahead of the curve you are, the more work you got to put into push it, right? So then what are the next steps for us? Do we think on the GHG inventory? I think we were gonna talk to Melrose, and then I thought we needed to engage with we'd already engaged with a consultant, right? That's how we got the spreadsheet we started with, and
That was from MAPC, the greenhouse gas inventory template, but we got a proposal from a consultant that has worked in the town before, did the municipal vulnerability preparedness plan several years ago. So I reached out to her, Kim Lundgren, and was just talking to her about, you know, what she's done. She's like the guru of climate change plans for municipalities. So she gave me a proposal, and it's like kind of like an express planning proposal, like the cheapest one that she has, that's like the fastest. So that is what we have. So yeah.
but do we have to take that also to the town if we want like to engage with her, or can we approve that in the committee?
No, we have to, I mean, the town has to pay for it, so.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, and I think the other key thing we talked about before was really for that to be successful, it'd have to be, you know, sponsored by the town, in both in terms of funding, but also in terms of town staff person that would be basically able to manage it.
Yeah.
You know, be the lead kind of point of contact. It would I think end up involving a lot of different departments and people in the town, and kind of by design is meant to engage you know, broader community. But I definitely think for a project like that, you're going to have somebody kind of running point who's a town staff person, and I don't know if we have any real ideas of who that would be at this point. So that's probably one of the big asks to the town council is, you know, will you support this? Will you you know, bring someone in to help run it, or, you know, designate someone to run it, and then obviously the funding too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the biggest piece of this, is getting the town's buy-in, but also having a staff person manage the creation of this plan, because we can't do it. We need somebody full-time.
Yeah, not with the limited engagement that we have. So I think then again, what are the next steps there? So you got the proposal. Do we just need to start writing that up and walk through getting a you know, set of slides and
Yeah, I think it's getting on the next, whenever the town council meets, I'm looking at the calendar and I don't see anything in August. I see something in September, but I can ask Julie when she thinks the next meeting will be. They usually meet every 2 weeks. So, so maybe we can shoot for her.
But this would be something like we would be, I mean, do we wanna? I'm thinking similar to the town of Melrose, even though they're a city, but just somebody whose like title would be like Director of Sustainability, or would it be like a temporary position that we, or? Like, do we know?
I mean, it could be a temporary position, it could be a contract position. I know that they're trying to hire, they put in the budget for next year, or maybe it's this fiscal year since it just started. I don't know, but I think they put in the budget for like a sustainability planner. So I don't know like what the timing is for that. So,
Okay,
but I can email. I mean, I think the biggest thing is just presenting to the town council everything, all the information, hopefully have a discussion and get their buy-in, and then you could say, hey, we had this proposal, like this is how we would go about creating a plan. We would need somebody to help manage this, and then we can figure out what the options are. But I think the first step is getting their buy-in.
okay. Actual politicking.
So yeah, examples from other towns, anything else? I think one of the big ones we had touched on initially in that first presentation, Melissa, was like just alignment with state goals, like it's not
Right.
an option here, like you kind of have to get on board with what the state's doing, and without having some kind of plan, you don't even really know where you are relative to those state goals. So that, I think that's a selling point. Any other sort of main points we should hit?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely going back to, somebody told me that like if you don't abide by like missions, like goals, then you're not going to get like funding for things.
Yep.
So there's actually like ramifications. I don't know if that's stated somewhere, but that's what somebody told me. But yeah, so getting examples from other towns, bringing it back to the state goals, I think are the two biggest things that we probably need to add to that presentation.
Yeah.
Yep. In general, the hardest thing with sustainability is that the benefits they're forever, but everybody has to agree that they're benefits. Right.
Yeah, and it's also in line, somewhat with, we're a green community now. I know that green community program is more focused on energy reduction, but this goes hand in hand with, that initiative.
Yeah, that's a good point too, Melissa, just to say like, what have we done already, so this is just a continuation of things that we as a town have done, and I'm not really sure what that what is included in that, other than knowing about the recent green communities designation.
We did the MVP several years ago.
Yep.
Which nobody looks at. So we should remind them of that.
Yeah, yep. And right, and what better way to realign with that and ensure that it, that process was done, so let's not waste it and forget about it. So let's
Right.
pull that
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
In communities, MVP, yeah.
I mean, the utility also has like emissions goals.
So is it kind of one of those, like some of these things, once we put together a plan, if the utility already has some goals. Cause like the goals in this case, right, it involve kind of getting buy-in also from the community, right? So getting, reduction of emissions from houses and things like that. So, but if the utility is already on board and they can jumpstart it, that's also, you're removing that, momentum concern, which is, well, how do we get started? Well, we're already started. We're doing it for utilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly like coming together, town, and stating that this is important. We want to put effort into this and do something concrete.
Okay. So basically, so in the town committee meeting, it's just a conversation, right? We're just basically saying, here's the materials, here's what we want to do, and then sort of float in that conversation what we might need.
What we think are the next steps.
Hey, you're gonna have to hire somebody, or at least contract or whatever, and here's a plan. And then ask them to tell us what they need from us, kind of thing, and then. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll certainly be involved in the process. We just
Yeah.
can't run the show.
Exactly. Okay. Who wants to take point on that?
Chris, you said you were gonna try to.
Take a point on that.
Yeah, yep. I can work on adding some slides to that effect. So I think we want to cover sort of the work done on the baseline. Yeah, at least a little. I don't think we need to spend too much on that. And then
Well, you have
say what is a community, or what is a climate action plan? Just explain what that proposed process would be, and then talk about the why, and then talk about the next steps.
You're gonna start with the presentation we already put together, right?
Yeah.
You have that, I'm assuming.
And I think that's the sort of like where are we now?
Yep.
Then you get into the what we could do next, which is the climate action planning process, and talk about what that is and why it's important to engage the community, and how it would run, and like the what is it, then the benefits and the why, and then next steps.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you guys run across anything that'd be useful to incorporate there, or have any thoughts, let me know, but I'll put that in my column to work on.
Yeah, and if you want to like share it with us through Google or something.
Yeah. So I don't want to. Sorry, this is one of these. I still don't have a ton of experience in town politics or the pace that's normal or healthy for this stuff. It's like, do we want to try to do something for the next meeting or the meeting after that? So, because I would think we want to bring it to the committee, our committee first, before we go to the town committee, right? Just talk through what we're gonna do, and then figure out which town committee meeting we want to talk in, right?
I mean, I don't think we necessarily need to. I mean, we already kind of presented the presentation.
Okay.
on the inventory. I don't think we need to do that again. And
So we just need to figure out which town committee meeting.
yeah, I just emailed Julie to see like when their next meeting is
Okay.
and see if we can get on the agenda for one of the meetings in August.
Great. That's exciting.
And you're gonna present. No, I'm just kidding.
So I think it looks like, is it the 23rd of September? That might be the next one.
No, I think that's just a weird meeting that's on there because it's
Oh,
like
okay.
9 a.m. on a Saturday. So
Yeah, and they have that last Saturday as well, the 22nd of July.
yeah, I think it's just a weird Saturday meeting they have. I mean, the last main meeting was Monday. They usually meet on Mondays, so it was July 10th. And they didn't have one this past Monday, so I don't know. We'll just see from Julie what the deal is.
Okay. Cool. All right. I had a note here there was some discussion in 2 committee meetings ago about like the subcommittees and restructuring or consolidating. Is that done, or is there like a more official thing, anything that needs to happen there, or?
Kind of just combine the two,
Okay.
2 names.
So what are we
Because
now?
I mean, Julie was really the only person in the green communities, and she was just kind of making sure the application was going through and everything was all set there. So
Right.
that's done. So it just made sense to kind of combine efforts here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's anything we need to do for green communities. Like, I don't actually know who's managing that. So
Yeah, the somebody from the town is at this point just managing the energy
I
projects
think
that
it
got
may
approved,
be
right?
like a lot of it's like DPW.
Yeah.
They own like a lot of the buildings. So yeah, I think it is like mostly DPW running it, but they already had, like, they had to present like a plan of like, you know, projects they were gonna work on during, each time period going forward. So I think it's really just executing those projects at this point.
Right. Okay. So no,
I think there is gonna be some like reporting along the way that we may have to be involved in. I don't know what that entails. So I think that's kind of the only thing we would be maybe want to help with. Or need to
that's a
help
good-
with. So I can follow up with Julie on what deal is with that.
yeah, that's right. You have to report in, and then also part of becoming green communities is submitting the plan for how to achieve certain energy use reductions. So are
Right.
those actually like, if you're reporting your energy use and you don't meet the target reductions, does anything happen?
I don't know.
More importantly, how do you know that you hit them? Somebody's gotta be, that's what they're doing? Are they monitoring and measuring? Is that how they're?
Yeah, there's a platform that like all of the municipal building utility data gets like sucked into. And I think we are set up on that, right, Melissa? Because we got some information from that, I think, on.
Yeah, so that was like, that actually broke it down by building, so.
Yeah.
I mean, considering we have a utility that we can easily get data from, it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
But I can follow up with her and see what the deal is with the reporting.
Anything else we want to cover today?
I guess the only other thing is if we want to do some outreach on the greenhouse gas inventory at like Town Day. Town Day is October 7th. So that would be an opportunity if we are putting that warrant forward, we could talk about that, but we can also, I guess we can see how the town council meeting goes and maybe figure it out after that.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good opportunity to provide some education. And we're still trying to do that. The like open houses.
Yeah.
I don't think we found a street though that has many things on it all together.
Yeah, I tried to do the Google Maps thing and I could not find, it's actually not nearly as obvious as you might hope on Google Maps.
See, solar, you mean?
Say again, yeah, there you couldn't see anything that wasn't specifically solar, and even then some of the solar stuff doesn't come up because they changed how they stitch the images together, so it's blurred out. It's harder to tell. So there's a couple houses that are pretty obvious. I was thinking maybe like this area behind the Greenwood School, it's nice tight housing area, and there's like 2 houses I can see on Google Maps, and that's about it. And everything else, and there's definitely more than the 2 houses back there. And then as for alternative technologies, I just don't know. I'm heat pumps or any of that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's like a lot of houses like around my house I can see that have heat pumps outside their house.
Okay.
And then, yeah, electric vehicles. Yeah, so like on my street, there's like heat pumps and electric vehicles, but no solar. So we just need to find.
Yeah.
I know there's got to be a street that has all of them. I mean, those 3 things.
Yep.
So Tiana sent that
Yeah.
message out. Were there any responses there? No.
So yeah, I guess we just need to. I mean, maybe I'll ride my bike around and see if I can spy on people's houses a little. So yeah, that's the other education piece. Plus, we're trying to organize an EV showcase like Melrose.
Yep.
So that's one thing that we're going to be talking about at the farmers market Saturday. I have like a sign that has a QR code that people can like sign up to.
Awesome.
Showcase their EV or say that they're interested or whatever. So hopefully that will come together. We're shooting for October, so
Yeah. Yeah.
We were also talking, I think, at one point about so Tiana does like the Facebook posts and Instagram and like anything from the inventory we already did, just like maybe one of those graphs and just be like, did you know? And just start kind of trickling some of that info out to the whoever subscribes to the stuff on the.
That's a good idea. I don't think we've talked about that. I can definitely, I can send her the PowerPoint and then she can take snippets from there.
I have a totally random question. I was thinking about this recently. Has it ever been discussed to consider a ban on gas landscaping equipment? I think I've heard of some municipalities doing that.
Yeah, I just saw, I think Marblehead did it.
Hmm.
They, yeah, or like, or maybe it was leaf blowing that they banned or something. Yeah, I just don't know how we would enforce that. Cause it's like people's property, you know? I mean, there is, the utility does have incentives for electric lawn equipment, so we could tell people about that. But yeah, I think that one, I just don't know if it's like that worth it. Like how much, we didn't really see that much emissions from that, right?
I don't remember now. I don't think it was. I don't think it was huge. I think what I remember is that, you know, it was estimated somehow, but it's got to be like almost impossible to have any real data specific to the town on it. But they're incredibly polluting. Never mind the noise pollution.
What is the lawnmowers?
Yeah, I think just all those small engines are just horribly inefficient and have high levels of emissions. I mean, you know, blowers and trimmers and all that.
I hate
that's
leaf
hard
blowers.
stuff. Hmm.
Leaf blowers are the worst.
Yeah. Fall's coming up. Be a good time to let people know about the incentive program. Anyway, I just probably heard some stuff out my window recently and thought about it, so just curious if it had ever been discussed.
No, I haven't talked about it, but yeah, I just don't know like if it's worth the effort considering the impact is pretty minimal. So yeah, I think those are the main things.
Okay.
There's a community solar program from the utility starting next year. So, because they're putting panels on the utilities building, they're gonna use part of it for their own consumption and then have people buy into the other piece.
Nice.
So,
Is that the first? Is that the first of it in the town?
Yep.
Community solar, yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
And is it expected to be less than the standard supply?
They're still
rate?
working out the numbers.
Yeah, because you can already opt into the renewable, right?
Yeah, I mean, this would mostly be for people that like can't put solar, like renters can't put solar on their houses, or like you don't have a good roof.
Right.
It's mostly for that purpose.
Cool.
And I feel like it's a little more tangible than like the green choice thing.
Yeah, it's right in the town. And it could be a discount compared instead of a premium
Yeah,
compared to the standard supply rate.
yeah.
Okay, any other business?
I don't think so.
Today.
Stefan, are you in a hotel room?
I'm in California at the moment, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I almost forgot about this meeting until I got the cancel or the decline earlier. And then I was like, oh yeah, crap. And then here I am. So I made it. Just like I promised. Yeah, this meeting wasn't even supposed to happen, and I learned about it last week and decided to be an adult and fly out to meet with the client that I had no previous intention of meeting with. So I don't know how else to put that. We're meeting with utility here.
Cool. Hope it goes well or went
It
well.
did, yeah. We already have a contract. It's really just digging out all the details for an integration for our system, for my company and their system, and 3 days of technical discussions and business objectives and things. So
Nice.
So
Where in California?
San Ramon, near San Francisco. So I'll be home at midnight tomorrow. So
Cool.
yeah, I'll see you on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, whichever.
That's a
Saturday.
rough turnaround.
Say again?
That's a rough turnaround.
No, well, that's I was I never lie. It's a thing for me. But I could not have gone to the 9 a.m. for the farmer's market after taking a red eye back. It just was not going to happen. But I made the obligation to you first and to the committee first. So I was like, I can't stay all day Friday. It's got to go home early. So I being home by midnight so that I can go to the farmer's market on Saturday morning seems like a perfectly valid reason.
I'm glad we could provide that.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Make sure you stop by Poor Man's.
Yeah.
Be well caffeinated.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. It's my kids are getting to be about the 4 and 8, and I'm used to not sleeping at this point because so I'll be great.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hope you have smooth travels and
Yeah,
safe home.
Yep.
And I'll see you Saturday morning.
See you Saturday morning. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved.
All right.
Good night, guys. Good night.
Have a good night. Bye.
Take care.